Did you know that teenagers experience the highest rate of depression and anxiety of any other age group? I actually didn't know that. I'm doing this video because I'm very concerned about the anxiety rate of our teens. Fully 1 out of 3 experience anxiety, and along with that can come depression, anxiety, insomnia. There's a lot of things, but the rate of this we're hearing a lot more about, and how mental health impacts are really having quite devastating effects on our teenagers. So my level of experience in functional medicine, clinical nutrition, I'm going to stay in my lane and talk about diet and nutrition and how it can be affecting your teens' rate of anxiety. I'm not going into the mental aspect of things because that's not where I'm trained. But the effects of, let's just start with diet. So a diet high in sugar is known to create more anxiety and depression. So what can happen is your teen is growing, hormones are being produced, there's a lot of changes. I remember hating being a teenager. I don't know about you, but from age 12 to about 16, I was just very out of sorts with my body, let us say, and how I felt about myself. And I was an athlete. I mean, I was training rather intensely during that time, and it didn't matter. I just hated the way I looked, how I felt, and it can be very, very disorienting to go through all the hormonal changes. But we're compounding it with things like a bad diet that's high in processed foods. So the fast foods, the highly processed foods, they have so many chemicals in them that can get into what's called a dopamine response. So that's that feel-good response. You know, you have a hot fudge sundae, or you have some chocolate, and you have that feel-good moment. But what happens after a little stretch of time is then you crash down from that high of the happy chemicals in the food, and your mood goes down as that happens, and then you crave more. And unfortunately, these are not foods that are nourishing you, nourishing your teen, and you for that matter, but they're not nourishing the body in the way that it's needed during this very delicate time of being a teenager. And do realize that literally everything I'm saying is good for all ages, but I really want to focus on teen anxiety. So you have the sugary diet, you have the highly processed foods that are throwing off the biochemistry, and then what's that doing to the gut? So unfortunately, sugary foods, highly processed foods tend to create a sluggish gut, and now you have constipation. This is really dangerous because what happens when the bowels are that slow, you should be moving your bowels once or twice a day, nice brown banana for lack of a better descriptive term, and during that time you're getting rid of toxins. One of the things that happens when the bowel is slow is toxins get recirculated that we know throw off the hormonal balance, and you get more of the pro-inflammatory, irritable, cranky, moody hormones than you do the well-being, calm hormones. So that gut-brain connection, gut-hormone connection is very well understood. Serotonin, our nice mellow feel-good hormone, is produced mostly in the gut. And if you have constipation, if you have a lot of inflammation from a poor diet, a high sugary diet, again, you're not going to get that balance. You're going to get the unsettled, anxious hormones. Let's talk about sleep. Teenagers can think it's really cool to not not get enough sleep because they're studying. It's kind of like what their clique of friends is doing, and not enough sleep is absolutely associated to anxiety and depression. Again, this is good for all ages, but with our teenagers, we really have to make sure, and that they're also getting good quality sleep. I have a Whoop band. No connection to the company. There's Aura rings, there's Apple watches. There are things where you can start to help your teen look at their metrics of their quality of sleep, which is very, very important for, again, hormonal health. The other thing that happens is blood sugar can get very erratic. And so, again, going back to their diet, if they're lots of sugar, lots of processed foods, the blood sugar's up and then it crashes, and then they crave and it's up again and it crashes. And with all this up and down, that creates a lot of stress for the body, and you get more stress hormones. The other thing that happens is when they're trying to sleep at night, now there's no food coming in, and that crash of the blood sugar tends to take them out of sleep. So you might say, I can't get my teen out of bed. They're getting 10 plus hours. But what kind of quality are they getting? That's where some of these bands and rings that you can try to invest in get a real good assessment. Are they getting that deep sleep? Are they getting that REM sleep? Because that is the rehabilitative sleep that is so critical. Let me see what else I wanted to go over. Oh, lack of exercise. So if your teen is a couch potato, it's very, very important for their mental health to find something they like to do. You don't have to call it exercise, but some sort of family activity, and then help them see patterns. I am a card-carrying member, having raised 3 children. They were all 2 years apart, so I had 3 teenagers at any given time. And so one of the things I found that was important, because is to show a cause and effect relationship, because the next thing I'm going to talk about is food sensitivity. So my entire family is gluten sensitive, but the ability to have each child see what gluten did to them, or what not enough sleep did to them, or what inactivity did to them. So whatever it is, you want to say, oh, my I won't name my children, but one of my children would get cranky, and when I would show the cause and effect relationship, and she's like, no, that's not what it is. But then we would do it again and point it out again, and finally it was like, okay, I can see the cause and effect relationship. And with each of the 3 children, diet was affecting them in different ways. But with your teen, you want to look at, and it's like maybe not that day when they're having a hissy fit and they're just super cranky, but maybe the next day or two when they've settled down a little bit. It's like, hey, a couple days ago, we had a little disagreement. I'll take responsibility as your parent, but you seemed a little, whatever you want to politely say. And what I did notice was, you've been staying up really late at night. It's like, okay, Mom, don't police me. No, I'm not. I'm actually trying to be a great parent and help you have a long and healthy life, because what you're doing right now is setting the stage for long-term health. And so you can come at it a number of different ways, but being involved and really seeing these patterns is very, very important, because there's way too much drugging of our children and drugging of our teens, and it becomes very acceptable to say, well, it's just a mental health issue, and it is. Anxiety is a mental health issue, but what's at the root of it? What's the root cause of it? And I very strongly feel that until you get these basics of diet and nutrition and exercise and sleep, get those foundational basics really in and really stable, and then see where you are. Get the help of a functional medicine doctor, see if there's any food sensitivities, really find out what these underlying foundations are doing. And when they're really stable, if you still have an issue, okay, we'll go to the next step. But all too often, these children are being drugged and being given these diagnoses of a mental condition which they take the rest of their life, when they haven't done the basics, because they don't know to do the basics. They need you to know. So I would love to actually talk more about this. You let me know if it's something you're interested in. But if your health is not the way you want it to be, please reach out. That's why we're here, and I'll see you soon.